Welcome back. Let's go to this now. And the state of municipal governance in South Africa's major cities is coming under intense scrutiny. Now, the Special Investigating Unit recently briefed Parliament on the concerning situation in both Johannesburg and Pretoria, which raised alarms about alleged corruption, mismanagement, and service delivery failures. But what impact does this have on the ground, particularly for those looking to invest in property? And does the way a city is run directly affect its real estate market? Well, let's unpack the connection then between municipal governance and property investment and understand what these SIU revelations mean for current and potential investors in Johannesburg and Pretoria. And to help us do that, we are joined by an Associate Professor in Real Estate at the University of Pretoria, Professor Douw Boshoff. Prof, thank you so much for making time for us here on the AM Report. A very good morning to you. I suppose a good place to start is the sentiments that were shared by the South Africa Property Owners Association saying, well, they're raising concern around the potential impact of municipal governance on the property market and investor confidence. Is there a correlation between the two, and where do you stand on this? Is this concern valid that they have raised?
Good morning, Andy, and yes, thank you for inviting me. I would definitely see that there is a valid claim by SAPOA, and the big problem is the increases in cost to the property investor. Municipal charges or municipal expenses have increased over the last almost 15 years by approximately 14% per year. And we don't see that increase in cost to be delivered in services. So the service delivery is not what it's supposed to be, yet the cost of those municipal expenses are increasing beyond a sustainable level.
And if you're looking at what this would be attributed to, what are some of the factors then that would be leading to this increase? Because we're seeing property rates and municipal charges are increasing at a rate of more than double that of inflation since 2008. In fact, a study that you were involved in with the Reserve Bank's Financial Stability Department had raised this. What are some of the factors that would contribute to this?
On the one hand, one should look at the efficiency within municipalities. The accuracy of valuation rolls is on the one hand a concern. So when the Municipal Property Rates Act was implemented back in 2004, after that valuations changed from land-only value to full market value. And at the implementation, the valuations were much lower than true market value. Over time, it increased substantially to a closer level to market value. And then in conjunction with that, the tariff at which those valuations are then charged into municipal tax has also increased at about CPI. So the increase in valuations combined with the increase in the tariff has caused the property tax to increase substantially above sustainable levels.
Now, let's talk about this in more practical terms then, because if you're a property owner and you're saying, well, this is something that affects me, but I don't have any control over it. It's all about how the municipality runs the various departments. What is the solution then here? And if you're a property owner, should you then be concerned that if this trend does continue, the value of your property will continue to decline?
Yes, and that has happened already in the market, where you can see that property valuations are stagnant. Obviously, after COVID, there were quite a lot of devaluations in the property sector, and we're looking at a recovery, but that recovery is not happening due to the unsustainable increases in expenses. So there's definitely an economic impact there, and the Constitution allows for objecting to that. So this SAPOA is busy to investigate the legal merits of a claim to readjust the tariffs, and in the end, that is what needs to happen. The tariff for charging municipal taxes should be reduced.
And it does sound like somewhat of a double-edged sword now, doesn't it? Because the costs keep increasing, the infrastructure keeps decreasing, and you're saying that it's going to have a direct impact on property owners. Where does one start fixing a problem like this? Because we're seeing even on social media, there are certain accounts such as the Josie versus Josie account, which shows that there is a stagnant or a decline that continues here. If you are the municipality of Johannesburg and Pretoria in particular, which is where the concerns have been raised, where do you start fixing a problem such as declining infrastructure?
It is definitely something that there must be open debate. Investigations as to what is efficient fiscal policy within the municipalities. Where can they spend money that is most efficient? And there should be no, call it corruption. You see the report of the SIU and the claims of corruption within the municipalities, and that is a major concern. Your eyebrows immediately rise due to that, and you wonder where the property rates are being implemented. So that debate, in order to ensure that the money goes into the municipality and is spent in the right places to support sustainable economic development within a municipality, is very important. So I would definitely say that it starts with fiscal policy within the municipality.
And you've already alluded to that SIU report, and perhaps saying that issues such as corruption are further compounding the problem. If you're looking then at the solution that has been proposed, which is to have lifestyle audits that are for the municipal workers to ensure that they know the source of the funds, some of the tenders that are being awarded, which could contribute to the problem. Do you think this is the solution fit for the problem that has been identified?
It sounds definitely like a good solution. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a specialist on the political side of things within municipalities, but yes, to ensure that there's audits in place to make sure that the money is spent where it's supposed to be spent, that would definitely be a good solution.
All right, Prof. So we've spoken about the residential property side of things in terms of property owners. Is this trend something that's observed across the board? Are we seeing the same thing with commercial property, rental of office space and the likes? Or do you think that does the picture look slightly different on that side of things?
No, in the commercial property space, it's definitely the same, if not worse. In the office sector, for instance, the Johannesburg municipality has published its valuation roll a short while ago, and about a year ago. And the increases in valuations on the office market, for instance, was about 20% up from the previous valuation roll. Now, there's about a 5-year difference, but in reality, the previous roll was just before COVID. So office values, the true office values, declined by about 20%. So that increase in valuations of 20% versus the true valuation decrease by about 20% causes a significant impact on property owners and property investors. And the process to fix that is by way of objections. The number of objections is to the level where it's very difficult to fix. It is a long time to fix that. And municipalities has got the principle of pay now, fight later. So in the meanwhile, property investors must pay the higher property rates, and it is an unsustainable situation for them for net operating income.
And this could have a potential impact on investor confidence, right? Because this is one of the other concerns that were raised by SAPOA, saying, well, if this does continue, investor sentiment will possibly shift to offshore markets and investor confidence does go down. Do you share the same sentiments? And how do we then get investor confidence back up to ensure that we don't have money going out of South Africa due to the situation that we are observing?
Yes, I agree to that. You definitely see that investors are moving their money elsewhere, and not only out of the country, but also out of property specifically. But if you have a problem with property investment, property is traditionally seen as a long-term stable income for investors. So it's most likely that investors would then move their money offshore. And that then has got significant impacts for the economy.
So, Prof, we're painting somewhat of a bleak picture here, but if you're looking at it then in terms of the positives that can be drawn, do you believe that this is a situation that can turn around? And how long are we looking then before things normalize and we start seeing the trend perhaps on an upward trajectory?
Yes, it is something that can be improved. And again, I want to go back to the open debate. Within municipalities, there must be more efficient systems. So the financial departments that's determining the tariffs on municipal rates, they must much closer work with the valuations department, and they must understand that it is something that works in conjunction with one another. It's not something that is independently. So that open debate with the private sector as well must continue to ensure that where's the best economic impact that can be done. So if municipalities aren't spending money to have a positive economic impact, then it must be left, the money must be left within the private sector in order for them to stimulate the economy. Time-wise, it might take some time. It is not something that is overnight. There is a lag of the property sector behind the general economic activity, and that could be something between 18 months to 2 years before you see a positive impact. So the sooner we start with it, the better.
Well, Prof, I certainly hope things are going to be turning around in that property sector. Thank you so much for your time here on the AM Report. That is, of course, Professor Douw Boshoff, who's an Associate Professor in Real Estate at the University of Pretoria, just telling us then in terms of the link between municipal governance and property rates, which does look like a bleak picture where those engagements do need to happen to turn things around. That's where I'll leave things then. Of course, we are going to go for a quick break. The AM Report continues.